Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So today in the Crypto Mining 101 series, we're going to be looking at speculation mining. So speculation mining, we're going to go through the basics of it, and then we're going to look at how you should pick coins for speculation mining, and then get into some examples of how it's worked in the past. So firstly, what speculation mining is. It's basically mining at unprofitable rates on new coins, or it could be old coins depending on which ones you're choosing. So at unprofitable rates on new coins, and then you're mining, and then over time, the price of the coin increases. So as you're unprofitable, you're not going to see profits until the time has gone by, and then the price increases. So we see price increase here, and then more profits than you would previously get from mining a profitable coin. So for example, let's say that you mined Flux, and let's say it was 10 cents to mine. However, Ethereum was really profitable at the time. Let's just take that as an example. Flux at the time was unprofitable to mine because Ethereum was taking over most of the hash rate, and therefore when it comes down to mining over time, the Ethereum merge comes in, and then Flux takes a rise up. This is just an example, and let's just say that it 5x'd up from there. You would be more profitable than just mining the Ethereum in the first place. So speculation mining is taking a bet on a coin. Obviously, we're going to get into how you can take that bet and how to risk it, with hopes of later going down into more profitability than just mining the most profitable coin. Speculation mining has been one of the biggest things right now in terms of cryptocurrency mining, just because right now we didn't really have that much to mine after the Ethereum merge. I'd say there's only things on ASICs because GPU mining basically got ruined, so we had to look for more coins to speculatively mine. Ergo, Ravencoin, Flux, all these older coins, they received a bunch of hash rate, which basically increased the difficulty. And if you want to learn about that, the previous Crypto Mining 101 video explained it in depth. And the biggest thing when it comes to speculation mining, obviously, is making a profit more than what you would mining on a profitable coin. This only applies to after time, and it could be a small time frame, it could be a long time frame. Like for example, in Bitcoin's olden days, back in 2011, 2012, there wasn't really profitability calculators to actually calculate how profitable you were. People were just mining it just because they wanted to mine the Bitcoin, because it was a cryptocurrency. So they obviously were speculatively mining, or just kind of upholding the network, I guess, at that time, with the hopes later that Bitcoin would go up in price. So that's our biggest example there, is Bitcoin, when people were mining it before the ASIC kind of era. And that's the main overview of what speculation mining is. So when it comes to speculation mining, we obviously want to look for new coins, or you could also look for old coins. So mostly the most speculation mining in terms of the price increase is going to be done definitely on newer coins, just because they have more ability to move up in price. For example, you have a coin that has 100 million in market cap. That can only go so far compared to one that has 0 market cap. And the price increases are going to be better at lower ranges of market cap. For example, from 10,000 market cap up to 100,000 is very easy in the cryptocurrency space. So from 100,000 to a million is also very easy. And from there, that's an 100x increase from the original 10,000 market cap. So you can see how you can speculatively mine on that and make really good profits later down the line, better than you would just mining a profitable coin. So we have some things to look at in terms of speculatively mining. So this is how you pick coins to spec mine, and how you go through and check what we're going to spec mine. So there are some ways to find new coins, mostly the Bitcoin Talk forum that will show on alternate cryptocurrencies and announcements. People will put up that they're making new coins on there, and they'll also put updates for different things. For example, right here, this is a Garban IOV, which is a hard fork of kaspa. So it's basically a fork of kaspa. And we have seen previous kaspa forks like Pirin and Carlson Hash, which have done very well for speculative miners that were on it on the first place. So normally you'd look through here, you'd look through a bunch of them. There's the Pirin one that we were just talking about. And then you'd go onto their GitHub, download the miner, download the wallet, and start mining before anyone else gets onto the network. This is probably one of the best ways that you would do speculatively mining, is look for new coins that don't really have any presence within any websites apart from Bitcoin Talk Forum. When I say this, I mean stuff like mining pool stats haven't listed it, plus hashrate NO and all the cryptocurrency calculators haven't listed it as well. That's probably your best bet in terms of the market cap going up, because if it's just on here, a lot of people will see it. Some of them won't be able to mine it because they don't know how to use the command line. And then eventually when it does hit to hashrate NO, or when it hits mining pool stats, that's when a lot of hashrate actually gets onto the network and it becomes basically unprofitable. However, a side effect of this is the price going up. So you want to be in very early with speculation coins, and you can't just spec mine every new coin, because most of them won't actually take off. As I said with the examples earlier of Pirin and Carlson hash, that was a change in the kaspa space, or the K-heavy hash space, because we didn't have a place for GPU miners to be profitable on the kaspa-esque network. And so Carlson hash and Pirin also brought that for GPU miners. Now there was FPGAs. However, a lot of people that got in when it was on Bitcoin Talk Forum before it hit hashrate NO or mining pool stats, they made a lot of profits from that because they were mining at lower ranges, lower difficulty, lower hash rate on the network. So there's a lot of things to look for when you're speculatively mining. There are some things like news or around a coin, for example, that we just used. The Pirin and Carlson hash was a place for kaspa miners to mine on GPUs, whilst kaspa was using ASICs, basically. So you can see how those came into the space. There wasn't really any innovation within them. However, it was just the algorithm. But mainly, we're not kind of looking at those to be the ones that we would go for. We're looking for solid things within the space, tokenomics and stuff like this. I've listed them here. So we have a kind of checklist of what we're looking for within coins. So we'll go through a little example that we would find. We have white paper, innovation/purpose, tokenomics and pre-allocation. This kind of ties in with supply, the tokenomics, the community, and then GPU, CPU, ASIC. Community is kind of tied into social media as well. So those are the main kind of checklists that you look for. And we'll go through an example here. So we're on mining pool stats. Let's just say that you're not on Bitcoin Talk Forum. You see any of these coins pop up. Let's just go for this newest one right here. So we check on the website. If we scroll down, click on the website, we see is an advanced cryptocurrency prioritizing privacy, security, and speed. Every cryptocurrency does that, so nothing new there. Is there any white paper on this? Right now, if we look down the bottom, there's a white paper here. So if we scroll down, we look into the white paper, what it is, official links, specification, why Noalium is created. So if we go back here, we're trying to look for a purpose. So they have the white paper already. That's a good tick. We look for the innovation and purpose now. Let's just see what page that was on. It's on page 4. So if we scroll down, we can see right here, it emerges to reshape crypto dynamics, introducing smart contracts, master nodes, and staking for passive income. We're building an accessible, rewarding ecosystem to explore technical intricacies in our upcoming V2 white paper. So nothing out of the blue new, not really much innovation there. Everything on this has been created. For example, like smart contracts and stuff like that, master nodes and staking for passive income has already been done before. So there's no real innovation within this white paper that we can see. Now, firstly, if I saw that on a white paper, I'd be off, but we're just going through an example right now. So let's just say that the white paper was good and there was some innovation in there. Next, we're looking for tokenomics pre-allocation. Pre-allocation is one of the main things that I would look for because that kind of takes away from the fair game of cryptocurrency and a fair market. If there's pre-allocations to venture capitalists, then it's not really great in terms of the whole ecosystem of the coin because you have a small amount of people holding a lot of supply. And that basically means that they can dump off whenever they want. It can cause price dumps as well. So your speculatively mining is kind of based around their ability to buy and sell the coin because they have so much of it. When we're looking at that, we kind of want to look for nothing with pre-allocation. Now, there are some pre-allocations that are good where it has unlocks and stuff like that. For the most part, pre-allocation is not what we're looking for. So let's just say that the pre-allocation was good. Let's look into the tokenomics. So the supply, as you can see here, is just ramping up. Total NLM in circulation per block height. So this is just showing the supply per block height. And then it's showing the mining rewards. So right now, mining rewards is actually up until 207,360 in the blocks. So mining, and then it switches over to a hybrid of node rewards, staking rewards, and mining. So if I was looking at this in particular, I would say that the easiest part or the best part to come in would be in this space, because you get way more rewards for mining in this time frame. Now, I don't actually know, I haven't looked at the network explorer, so I don't know if we've hit this block thing. But if you wanted to create the most out of speculatively mining, you would actually mine in this range instead of when it comes to here, because you can see the rewards drop drastically through this period. And then it just goes through the roadmap of the GUI wallet, white paper, Android wallet. There's a bunch of things going on, and that's pretty much it. Overall, I wouldn't say that this passed the checklist. So this is a CPU mineable coin. It doesn't really matter about this checklist, to be honest with you. It just matters about the progression. How far along are you in the progression of the coin? So, for example, as I've said in many videos, some of them stop at GPUs. So that might be the stop progression, which is kind of good and bad at some points in terms of the hardware progression. However, it doesn't really necessarily make too much of a difference. If it starts at ASICs, then yeah, it could make a difference, because if it starts on ASIC hardware, then you higher the threshold for miners to actually get into the coin. So it's a bit different. I would personally say if you're speculatively mining, I would do it on GPUs and CPUs. ASIC is probably for profitable mining. So we just went over that really quickly. I wouldn't say that any of this really sticks out as a great cryptocurrency to speculatively mine or anything like that. Normally, when we're looking in the white paper, as I said, some of them won't have a white paper. So if it doesn't have a white paper, then you can't actually find out information about it. So instantly, I would say that's a no-go. So if it doesn't have a white paper, just kind of discard the rest of these, I'd say. And then if it does have a white paper, look at the innovation and purpose. An example of this was obviously Kaspa coin. I believe that was in 2022 that it came out to the mainnet, and a lot of people speculatively mined it back then. And if you looked into the white paper and you looked into the Dagnite and the Rust rewrite that was coming in, you would see the innovation and the purpose of Kaspa coin. So the innovation was that 1 second block time going up to 10 blocks per second, and then even up to 32 or 100 blocks per second, which no other cryptocurrency had done on a layer 1, at least that is. And it has, the security with Dagnite coming in. So there's a lot of innovation and purpose. The one that we just looked at doesn't necessarily have any innovation. And then once you see innovation and purpose, you look at tokenomics and pre-allocation. Tokenomics kind of into the supply as well. So pre-allocation, as I said, not that good in terms of speculatively mining, just because a small amount of people are holding a lot of the coins for that time. With Kaspa, there was no pre-allocation. Tokenomics looked good, very aggressive supply halving. So that was very good in terms of the GPU to ASIC progression. A lot of coins were mined on GPUs. I believe around 70% was mined on GPU, and then it switched over to ASICs. So not that much of a problem in terms of the supply. And then obviously community is kind of like a last one, where you look at the community, you look who's behind the coin, you look at developers that are on the coin. Do they have any standing within the crypto space? There could be developers that don't, but still make good coins, so you have to be careful of that. That's why I'm putting it at the lower end. And then obviously where it starts out. Does it start out on CPU? Does it only stop at CPU? Does it stop at GPU? Does it stop at ASIC? Or does it start on ASICs or start on GPU? So there's a lot of things that you could look for within it. I would say it doesn't really matter if it's a CPU mineable coin. We've seen ones like Zephyr work very well. However, if it turned on to GPUs, there'd be a lot more hash rate on the network. There's kind of good and bad ways to think about the hardware progression. It doesn't necessarily matter. I'd only say it does matter if a coin is starting on ASICs, because the threshold is way higher for mining. And as I said, I wouldn't necessarily speculatively mine on an ASIC only coin if it starts at ASICs. If it starts at GPUs, fine. So all of this is kind of looking at new coins. So new coins that are coming out on the Bitcoin Talk forum, or might have hit hashrate NO or mining pool stats. You could look there for all of the new coins. Obviously, you want to get in before it kind of hits the mainstream websites. So Bitcoin Talk forum is probably the best one to look at, unless you have some inside information of what coins are coming out. You're tapped in with some developers. So if we're looking at older coins, for example, ones that have already established themselves. So we have for GPU mining, Flux, Ravencoin, Ergo, all of these older coins. Even with CPU mining, you have Monero and stuff like that. Zephyr is a new one which has done very well for profits on CPU mining. That's just an example of, we made a video before it got kind of onto the mainstream and we speculatively mined it, and it was very profitable to actually mine it at that time. So if we're talking about older coins, you don't need to worry about this because people have already pre-vetted them. There's a reason that they're mining them. You've got all of these innovations, tokenomics, they've already been checked out because the network has grown so big. There's not many coins out there that grow so big without having all of these kind of checked off. So what do you do in this instance if you're looking at mining older coins? Well, you're going to want to go for yield. So there's a nice little selection here that we can do. We can just do yield over the past 24 hours on hashrate NO, and it'll show you which ones are yielding the most. So with Vish AI coin, you have a yield in the last hour of 29%, in the last day of 94%. So basically you're yielding double of what it was one day ago. And then within the week, it's 36%. Vish is a new coin, so we're not really going to look at that. But for example, Dogecoin, you wouldn't necessarily call it speculatively mining. This is more going into the yield mining side of things. However, it kind of ties into the same thing. So Dogecoin already been vetted, it's already got standing in the community. I don't necessarily think it's a great coin, but it does facilitate transactions. You can see that the yield is up right now. So it would be beneficial to yield the coin and speculate on the price of the coin going up. So you can see it with Baba coin. I don't necessarily think that that's a good coin. Dingo coin, these are all new coins, I believe. Conceal is an old coin that is mined on GPUs. So you can see that the yield is up. So it might be beneficial to actually put some hash rate onto this. And then in the future, the price could go up maybe 10, 20%, and then you would have gained your power back. So let's actually get into some calculations on the power side. So here we have the power cost of a coin. So this is a quick example of how speculation would work for, let's just say, new coins at this time, because this calculation works better with new coins. So let's say that you have a power cost of $30 over the month and the coins mined equals $6.30. Normally when speculatively mining, you wouldn't necessarily have a price of the coin because it might not be on exchanges. That's probably a best bet to say that you're definitely mining first, is if it's not on any exchange. And then you see that your profits are negative $23.70. So then over time, let's just say that the coin 10x's, because you've checked off all the white paper and stuff like that, you've seen the innovation. Then the coins mined goes to $60.30, and then you have a profit of $30.30 sitting there. So you can see how that increase of 10x basically makes you way more profitable than you would mining. However, the only investment that you have to put in is time, and you have to research the coins as well. Now, there's no saying what time scale you're working at. However, the only problem with this is that you will have to pay out of your own money to cover the cost of the electricity. We would have to cover this $23.70 in electricity for the hope that it will go up 10x and it will return us $30.30. So you've already made that initial investment there. However, when it comes to, let's just say, older coins, I would stick on the side of varying unprofitable ranges. So I wouldn't dip necessarily too low. With new coins speculatively mining, you kind of are taking the gamble. With older coins that you would want to speculatively mine, I would say keep it to relatively lower unprofitable ranges. So maybe you're losing around 20 cents per day or 30 cents per day. That would give you enough wiggle room for if it made like a 30% increase or 50% increase, that would give you enough wiggle room to make that profits back. So speculatively mining is all about doing the research and also looking at new coins mainly, but you can also speculatively mine old coins, which could have the potential in the future. Right now, we are still in a bear market, I would say. So all these old coins that might have standing in the space, they could potentially go up in the next bull run as well. So now is kind of the perfect time to mine new and old coins on GPUs at least, and CPUs. However, ASICs is a bit different. I would mainly stick to profitability for ASICs, unless you really are researched into a project and you know what it's capable of in the future. Then I'd say you could actually mine that as a speculation mining. So that's it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you have any problems or any questions you want to ask, leave them in the comments below or join the Discord and leave them in there.